What's up, everybody? This is the Disciple Rick, and I want to start a series of short podcasts specifically for PIMOs, those who are physically in but mentally out. And I'll tell you why I want to do this. For about a year before I left, before I even knew about the term PIMO, I can say that I was PIMO, even though at the time I was the coordinator of a foreign language congregation. But I was PIMO. I think by the end of 2014, I was physically in but mentally out. I wasn't ready to leave just yet, but my heart wasn't in it anymore. But one thing about me is that I still love the Bible. I still love God, I still love Jesus, and I wanted to learn more. So during that year, I honestly stopped paying attention to meetings. I only did the study and preparation for the meetings when I knew I had a part. I think I was still conducting the Watchtower study too. And then when I gave talks, I gave talks that I wanted to give, and I never stuck with the outline. So, but I had started doing more research, and the first thing that I was able to find was a Bible Hub. And then later on, I found a website called studybible.info, and on that one they had Westcott and Hort's Septuagint. So I started having a lot of fun with that. And so at the meetings, I wasn't paying attention. I had a child, and I had to attend to my child. But when I didn't have the distractions and the meeting was going on, at that time, I was just researching Hebrew and Greek words. And the more that I did that, I was able to give comments that were pretty innocuous. It just made me seem like I had a whole lot more depth, in J-Dub, the spiritual depth as they talked about in J-Dub. It made me seem like I had a whole lot more spiritual depth than I really had in actuality. But for J-Dub, oh yeah, it was stuff that they had never touched, or the rank and file folks had never touched. Every now and then somebody would talk about a Hebrew word or a Greek word or something like that, but typically that may have been a Bethelite or something. It may have been in the Watchtower. They picked certain Greek words that they would tell you, or that they would put in there, that didn't disrupt the teachings. So I really enjoyed that time at the meetings. It made it look like I was still tied into the organization and everything, but I really wasn't. So I decided I wanted to do a series for PIMOs, and I'm going to do just some short verses that you can use, and if you want to research them even while you're at the meeting, it looked like you're paying attention, because I think I went to a funeral and I saw everyone had tablets. Okay, so and you can get on. They got Wi-Fi there, so you can get on the Wi-Fi. So you can do that. You don't necessarily need all your books, but anyway. So look, you can do research on your tablet. Bible Hub has an app that you can get. You can get the free one, or you can get the purchase one. It wasn't that expensive when I got it, but it keeps all the ads out of there. So anyway, you can get the app and you can do this while you're at the meetings, because you're mentally out, but you may have circumstances to where you can't leave just yet. So you have to stay, give the appearance that you're in. Let me just say that. And I thought that by offering this may be able to help some PIMOs until you guys are ready to actually leave. So look, here's the first one. And I say this is going to be kind of short. I'm not going to make these long, but here's the first one. If you go to Romans chapter 5, verses 1 and 2, if you've ever heard of this thing, maybe you haven't, but outside of Jehovah's Witnesses, there's a thing called the state of grace. All right. It's taken from Romans chapter 5, verse 2. And in verse 1, it's talking about now that we have been declared righteous because of our faith, then now we can enjoy peace with God through Jesus Christ. Now here's the thing, it says in verse 2, through whom we have obtained access by faith into this undeserved kindness in which we now stand. And let us rejoice based on the hope of the glory of God. Now, the undeserved kindness of which we now stand is called the state of grace. And that's another way of saying that. So we're in a state of grace. What is the state of grace? Basically, since we've been declared righteous by God and we have peace with him through Jesus Christ, now we're in a state of divine favor and blessing. Okay? That's what it is. We should start to experience divine favor and blessing. It's tangible. So when we focus on actually what we're given by God, because of the new found relationship, we can actually see it. But you got to take yourself out of the religion, that mentality. So you have to focus on the blessings that God has been giving you. And it gets more, you can grow more and more into it. But anyway, this is just one of those comments that you can make. And let's go a little bit deeper into it. If you go to chapter 6, verses 15 and 18, it talks about being no longer being slaves to sin, but being slaves to righteousness. So that's one of the effects of being in the state of grace. Titus chapter 2, verses 11 through 14 talks about how grace or undeserved kindness trains us, what the effects of undeserved kindness has. So if you're doing things based on righteousness with the understanding of what Holy Spirit has given to you, you got the scriptures, the understanding of what Holy Spirit has given to us, with it being implanted in us, you can live naturally by righteousness, where you're not tied to the law. You got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. Okay, so you can live in the state of grace. It's a state of divine blessing and favor. Now, here's another little point that you may want to throw out there that there's a difference between saving grace, saving the undeserved kindness that saves, like at Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8, where we've been saved by undeserved kindness or saved by grace. And then there's the enabling grace, which is the undeserved kindness we're given on a daily basis to live. So there's a separation in the two. And you can point this out. Those types of comments will make people think, oh, wow, you really, got great comments. I just love your talks and all that. See, you may have to do stuff that way while you're in, knowing you're mentally out. But if you still love the scriptures, you can keep yourself in until it's time for you to make your great escape. But anyway, that's the first one I wanted to give for PIMOs, and I'm going to do a series of these. The first one is about the state of grace in Romans chapter 5, verse 1 and 2. You can look some of this stuff up, and then, hey, you can give comments on it, and people think you're still in. And, even your family members, oh, you're still in, till the next thing you know, you just drop the whole religion and you out. I'm like, man, what happened? Well, I left the state of prison of J-Dub and really got into the state of grace. All right, everybody, that's all I had. Take care.